On behalf of the Consulate General of Greece in New York, I would like to welcome you and thank you for coming despite the adverse weather conditions to our annual Holocaust commemorative event that serves as a reminder, or rather not only as a reminder of the greatest crimes humanity has suffered, but also to pay tribute to its innocent victims, in particular our Greek Jewish compatriots. Greece paid a disproportionately heavy toll to the freedom we today all enjoy. Because of its highly successful fight against the invaders and because of resisting the occupation, Greece was made to suffer famine and extensive crimes by the occupying forces. 10% of the Greek population perished during the Second World War, the vast majority of which were civilians. Before the Second World War, the flourishing Greek Jewish community numbered approximately 75,000 people. 60,000 of them perished. Although most of them came from Thessaloniki, communities in other parts of the country were also decimated. The persecution deprived our country of its traditional diversity. It was a crime that left the country poorer. Today, it is also important to recognize those that put their own lives at peril to help their fellow citizens. Those that felt that they had no other option but to help their compatriots. Amongst them, I would like to mention Archbishop Damaskinos of Athens, who not only saved many by providing false baptism certificates, but when he was threatened by the German authorities with a firing squad after sending a letter of protest together with other prominent Greeks in defense of the Jews, he responded, "Greek religious leaders are not shot, they are hanged. I request that we respect this custom." Ladies and gentlemen, commemorations like this do not serve only as a reminder of an atrocity. They are an opportunity for us all to reflect on what brought humanity there, on what went wrong, not as a historic approach alone, but rather as a lesson. We always conclude our remarks by saying never again. If, however, we do not take the necessary steps to educate our youth, our society in general, about acceptance, not just tolerance, about principles and values, not just words, about speaking out instead of remaining silent, then this will eventually become just another event, like so many. And atrocities will happen again and again, and humanity in the future will be looking back, trying to understand what went wrong again. Today, when the shadow of populism in many different forms threatens our societies, minding our own businesses is not an option. Education, however, is, and learning from the past is a prerequisite for a better future. Thank you. I would like to invite for the prayer. Thank you.
It is, as you all know, always an honor and a privilege for me to participate in these sad but necessary commemorations, and a special honor and privilege for me to be here with His Eminence, Archbishop Demetrios, such a devoted friend to all of us. We're very grateful for your presence and for all that you have done. I always begin the prayer part of this commemoration with a few words. The few words may seem many to you, but for me, they are few. By saying, first of all, that this season we commemorate the 70th anniversary of the liberation of the death camp at Auschwitz. Next year, God willing, we will commemorate the anniversary of World War II in Europe. And as time goes on, those of us who directly experienced the horrors of those years, or who experienced them, as I did, collaterally in the shelter of the United States of America, hearing about the disappearance of my clan in Europe. We realize we're getting older, and our generation will soon be history. And that brings me to a recognition of the importance of two unrelated newspaper articles that I clipped in the last few months. One was from a Jewish newspaper, pointing out the importance, as all of us here have pointed out, and as Honorable Consul has pointed out, for us not only to remember those tragic events, but also to transmit their knowledge to future generations so that they will know and they will be instructed by it and will work together to avoid such catastrophes. The other article, seemingly unrelated, was from a secular newspaper which prided itself on writing about the great advances in science, mathematics, and many other technological activities, but at the same time deplored the concomitant devaluation and depreciation of the humanities and of the whole world of ethical living, without which all the great technological advances can only lead to horror. So while it is important to transmit a knowledge of the horror, it is also important to stand for the great humanistic values of our society. Humanistic values which inform Judaism and Christianity, but which come from the Greek world. The Greek world which, with its values, its literature, its ethics, and its morals, seeded everything that was worthwhile and is worthwhile in Western civilization. It is in that spirit that I begin the religious part of my remarks by stating that we will have a brief prayer period ending with a Kaddish, which I will recite, preceded by the prayer for remembrance of the dead, which is recited by us on Yom Kippur and on the festivals, at Yizkor time, called the Molei Rachamim. I will give a brief review of that, and that prayer will be sung by someone you know, student cantor, Imbal Sharet, now Imbal Sharet, singer, who's here with her husband, Jonathan, her baby son, Amit, and her father, Yoram, who is the grandson of the second prime minister of the state of Israel. Imbal belongs to us for another reason as well. Her clans, so well known in Greece, still represented in various parts of the world. Clans to which she belongs are Abulafia and Ben Beniste, which you well know. And as Imbal has promised, and as I have prodded her, when Imbal, who is in her 4th year as a cantorial student in a 5-year rigorous postgraduate program, knows when she prepares her final dissertation with a musical accompaniment, I will have the privilege of being her academic advisor, because that dissertation is going to deal with the Sephardic music of Greece with an emphasis on Salonika. So she belongs here. She will sing the Molei Rachamim. Preceding her will be 2 of our cantorial students who are in the 3rd of the 5-year postgraduate intensive program, both magnificent young people whom I would like to get closer to this community and who I believe will want to be closer to this community. Both are cantorial interns in prestigious congregations. One of them, whom you will see, is cantorial intern Emma Golden, who is cantorial student, who is cantorial intern in the Union Temple of Brooklyn, and the other is cantorial student Jay O'Brien, who is cantorial intern in my synagogue, the Free Synagogue, Stephen Wise Free Synagogue of New York. They will join together first in singing the 23rd Psalm, which I don't have to recite in any other language, you all know that. That will be followed by the Moli Rachamim and then the Kaddish. Please remain seated for the 23rd Psalm, and then we will rise for the rest. Cantors, please come forward.
Adonai Ro'i, the Lord is my shepherd. Adonai Ro'i, O
we stand.
Now for the Mole Rachamim, it says, please rise. It says, O God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, may those who have perished in your name find perfect rest. Father of mercies, shelter them in the shadow of your wings, and may they find peace. Bind them in the bond of eternal life, incidentally, a concept that comes from Plato. Bind them in the bond of eternal life, and may their earthly resting place be one of peace.
אל מלא רחמים, שוכן ממרומים, אמצי מנוחה נכונה, בצל כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע, מאירים ומזהירים את נשמת